In the year of our Lord, 1701, the Republic of Venice went to war with the sovereign monarchy of Ralston. This war was over passage rights through the Adriatic Sea, though this point will rarely be brought up when the war is discussed by future historians. It was, like most wars, overstretched and too costly. Neither side could afford it, nor would they back down. Many lives were lost, and whatever the outcome, each nation would nurse its wounds for some time. The war raged on for 6 years, draining both countries' resources, but the Republic of Venice was older than Ralston and had deeper pockets. In a war of attrition, they would win, and both sides knew. 3 generals from Ralston, 2 brothers and a close friend, came together to strategize, and came up with nothing. They would not win. In desperation, one reached out to a dark power and was told to make pilgrimage to Golgotha. With no other avenue, they spent 1 month sailing to the walls of Jerusalem, where they docked under cover of darkness. On the hill where the man named Jesus died, they met a figure, too old to identify as man or woman. It offered them a book, an already ancient thing made of pale leathers and filled with symbols that hurt their eyes to look upon. The thing smiled as they took it, a smile made of too many teeth. Full of dread for what they had seen and what they were about to do, they sailed for another month to get home. Things had gone badly in the time they were away. Soon they would have to surrender, and Ralston would fall into decline, one it was unlikely to survive. Whatever doubt the men had about using the knowledge in that book, their mind was set now. They cast its pages open and chanted dark incantations. And lo, did the dead walk upon the earth that night. Undead sailors hauled themselves into the Venetian boats. Soldiers dragged themselves from battlefields and clawed up from shallow graves to drive the Venetians from the land. The war was won. The Venetians could not fight Ralston's impossible numbers. They surrendered, the book was shut, and the dead were dead once more. The book was destroyed, but the world had noticed. Ralston had dark magic, and no shame in using it. Many enemies, without and within, were 1711. 3 years later, a child was born to one of the generals involved in unleashing the spell. A beautiful baby girl. A comet passed overhead that night, one that cycled between purple and green. Few saw it, but those that did walked away from their lives to explore more of the... You were taken from your mother and left with a nursemaid for your first few days in this world. She was a kindly. You were born into wealth and status, and had all you could wish for. But your parents never had another child, and your father was often preoccupied with his work. Your mother, distant, sickly and delirious, you heard another mother. It was a lonely childhood. 1718. You are 8 years old. You play with friends from school, 2 poorer boys, Diedrich and Flip. Your father disapproves. You play in the graveyard outside the city. Nobody goes there without an armed guard. But children do not care for such things. Children are small and fast, and can outrun ghoul. One day, as you play, you hear a rustling coming from some trees. You all freeze. Then a stone whizzes out of the green and hits you on the head. You stare in disbelief, a slow trickle of blood running down your face, partially blocking sight from your left eye. A group of other... "You shouldn't be here," he calls out. "It's against the rules." He punches the palm of his hand. "This is for your own good." Pick up a There were more of them, and they swarmed you. But you broke Willard's nose in the midst of it all, which you felt satisfied with. You weren't sure if it was the broken nose or that they got whatever anger they had towards you out of their system, but they left you alone after that. That night, you wake suddenly to find an old woman sitting at the end of your bed, whispering, "Where is my beautiful boy?" She looks around the room. "I'm coming to you, to find you." Then she looks at you. Where her eyes should be are dark holes, not fleshy wounds, but an absence of anything. An endless blackness that hurts to look at. She looks at you. She begins to crawl up the bed towards you. "Come to me, baby. Come, let me hold you in my arms." As you hide under the sheets, you feel pressure on the bed as she approaches. "My baby, my sweet babe." Her hands, cold and bony, wrap around your own as they hold the sheet tight to your face. They gently but easily pull your hands from your face, removing... "Wake up, baby." Your mother's voice. You slowly open your eyes and see her standing there, smiling down at you. You were having a dream. I could hear you from my room. "Come here." You dive forward and she wraps her arms around you, warm and fleshy and alive. 1721. One morning, your mother comes to your school. She takes you out, even though classes are not finished. She says everything is okay, but you do not believe her. It's her appearance. She is normally so perfect, but her hair is out of place, her dress loose. She brings you around the town. First you stop to buy sugared apples, then she takes you shopping. New clothes, new books, new toys, a luggage trunk. She brings you to the castle and, with some whispered words and coins exchanged, the guard lets you into the grounds. You go to the pond and throw bread and watch fish pop their heads up to steal from the ducks. You walk the city walls and the two of you take in the view. The sea to the west, the hills to the south, the forest to the east and north, and beyond the northern tree line, the road that leads to the capital. That, she tells you through teary eyes, is where you're going. You won't understand until you're older. Maybe not even then. You need more. You protest. She cries. When she stops crying, she doesn't remember where you are, how you got there. A watchman brings you home. There your father glares at you, angry that you upset your mother, angry at your non-compliance. Hoffman brings you to your room to help you put your new clothes and books and toys into your new trunk. He tells you that she loves you, that this is for the best. A few days later, your carriage rides out of town. In your children's stories, events like this happen on rainy days, but today is sunny and clear-skied. As the carriage crests a hill, you can look back towards the city. How do you feel as you are taken away? I heard 1722. A year has passed. More quickly than you might have expected. Winter's first snow falls lightly outside. You watch from your dorm and reflect on your time here. This year, you've made enemies, yes, but also gained a lot of respect. Many of the students here are 1725. Your schooling is done now. Your time here is over. You spent much of this year deciding what to do next. Ultimately, you decided perhaps it will gain you some favor. With your path decided, you found you had time before your training began, so you made the trip home to visit your parents and tell them your travel home feels faster than it was leaving. Perhaps mindset, perhaps age, perhaps because you have done it once already and can spy milestones. Whatever the reason, you arrive home to your mother and Hoffman awaiting you. Your father is not there. It had been 4 years since you were home. Not a long time for some, but a quarter of your life. You had this idea that you had matured, changed so much in that time, but you tell her of the books available to you in the school and of your studies and how you are able for the secrets hidden in her library's vaults, but she assures you that your mind is not ready. Despite this, it is good to be home again, to see your friends and family. You have a good summer. As you leave for your new training, you wonder how long until you come. 1727. You are nearly 2 years into your training now, and it goes largely as expected. You miss home. You are woken late one night and told to gather your things. You have been given an assignment. The training barracks is alive with people packing and being assigned equipment. Something is happening. You are placed in a new squadron, who are told they are to protect an ambassador. You are to rendezvous with them in a nearby town. It is only once you are out of the country that you hear of the war. A lich, a powerful undead sorcerer, has begun raising the dead and marches on the capital. So far, its armies show no sign of moving out of Ralston, but Venetian and Habsburg forces are amassing on their respective borders to repel anything that tries to cross them. Eventually, word reaches you that the Lich has been defeated, that its forces collapsed as the final blow was struck. Your father was at that battle, as was your uncle. You learn your uncle was wounded, but is well. Neither man died, though the same cannot be said for thousands of... You look up the other soldiers you trained with. Most were deployed across the country to help fight back the dead. Very few survived. Those that were not sent were ones like you, from prestigious families. 1729. Your training complete, you land your first post. You are given a cushion. You wear fine clothes, court beautiful people, and eat and drink well. You gain some weight on this posting. Why not? 1731. You are through the early years of your career now. You have earned some recognition and accolades. Some time from work and a purse are made available to you. As you take some time to enjoy this leave, a terrible thing happens to you. Your arm. You had been talking with your friend, Astrid, and you both agreed that you needed to blow off some steam. You decided. The next day, you rose early. When you finally hoisted yourself up over the edge of the cliff, you found yourself facing a cave. You shouted in, but you didn't stay there for long. The wind kept growing, and you both knew that if you had stayed there, your tent would blow away. What was that? Asked Astrid. You'd heard nothing, just the wind, you replied. Then, in the dark, something moved. A grey mass against the black cave wall. Something uncoiled and stood. It snarled and charged at you both. You pushed Astrid out of the way and barely avoided the first swing. A large hand, the size of your head, slammed into the ground. Your face stung and your head throbbed, but you had no time. You picked yourself up as you heard it nearing. You jumped on it and buried your thumbs. Astrid, who had managed to get out while you fought the thing, was able to seize you by the legs and dragged you. The thing followed you to the cave mouth and bellowed after you. You got a good look at it then. A nigh 10-foot grey-blue body, rippled with muscles and bristling with white hair. A hammerling. One of... It didn't follow you out onto the mountainside. You and Astrid, tentless now, found a crevasse to hide in, pained and cold until morning. Thankfully, the climb down was easier despite your broken arm, in part because you left your ropes anchored. It took a few months for your arm to mend. You still haven't regained its full. 1733. When you learned of your father's death, you were on a date. The main course had just been served when a courier came to you and delivered the letter. It had your family seal on it. You knew it was important. You excused yourself for a moment. You never returned to... Something changed in you then, and not for the better. I lost my... I wanted him to see how well I'd done. I wanted to make him proud, but now I never could. Now, days later, your carriage crests the hills towards Marnes. the sun blasting off the red and yellow bricks and rippling off the blue sea beyond. You are almost home. Home to reclaim my life here now that the man who sent me away is dead.
Should we stop, madam? Whoa there.
Welcome home, my lady. I trust your journey was a pleasant one. If Madam wishes to go inside, I shall follow along with the luggage. Please, go inside and I'll follow along with the bags once I pay the driver.